welcome to our next live Q&A, which is focused on all things business and management here at AIT. This week we are continuing our live AIT virtual events with live Q&As like this one and plenty more live web Q&As. The live web Q&As can be found on our CAO Hub and are kicking off tomorrow, June 24th from 2 to 4 p.m. daily and are continuing until July 1st on the CAO Change of Mind deadline. We understand that this is quite a nerve-wracking time for 6th-year students making their decision for their CAO, so we would like to offer you as much guidance and assistance as you may require. With that in mind, we are offering virtual guidance appointments which can be booked on our CAO Hub or even just simply drop us a DM on our social media platforms. With that in mind, we are delighted to be joined by Alison Sheridan, who is the Head of Department of Business and Management here at AIT. Alison is going to give us an insight into the array of courses available within this department, but also the facilities, the level system, courses, support systems, and so much more. With that in mind, we are just going to accept Alison into the live here now. Just bear with me a second. And with that in mind, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments box below and we will try and get to them over this live Q&A. Hi Alison, how are you?
Hi Claire, nice to see you. Thanks for having us on.
No problem at all. Thank you so much for joining us, Alison.
That's great. And it's a great opportunity to connect with some potential students, so we're delighted if we can help them get those final thoughts in line in terms of what they're choosing to do for next September.
Exactly. It's going to be quite a busy week for them trying to make the decision, so every little helps. They'll jump on board. So firstly, Alison, do you want to provide us with a bit of a background into the array of courses that are available within the Department of Business and Management here at AIT?
Yes, certainly. That's a good starting point. So I suppose if we look at the courses that we offer within the Department of Business and Management, there are probably three broad categorizations that I would make within those courses that we provide. So first of all, we have some general business courses, and I'll talk more about those in a minute. We have specific courses, honours degree programs in the area of digital marketing, and we have an honours degree program in the area of business and law. So those are particularly suitable for somebody who's more interested and more certain about the areas that they want to progress into. I suppose if we look at the general business programs, we offer general business offerings at level 6, at level 7 and at level 8. And again, while that gives great choice, I suppose it can provide some confusion as to what's best. But in talking about business generally, one of the best things about business, I suppose, is that the subjects that you get to choose and get to study as part of a business degree are really broad. And that means that you get to taste a number of different areas. So for students who are still considering where their future lies, our general business programs give them that opportunity to take the subject and to perhaps specialise in particular areas as they go along. So as they progress more towards their third and their fourth year, they can become more specialist in the areas of their own preference, but without having to decide that at this point within the few days that are left. So our business programs really provide that super basis for a wide range of careers. So we see careers going from marketing to finance to human resource management to economics, entrepreneurship, digital marketing, all of those spaces. Business can help you get into all of those spaces. So it's a really good starting point to choose a general business degree. As I say, our business and law program then is more specific, offers people who have an interest in law and may choose to go along and specialise and become a solicitor at the end of their program. Our digital marketing, again, provides another specialist route for people who are quite focused on that marketing area and want to make sure that they have a good set of digital skills. So there are three broad categorizations of programs that we offer within the business school.
Brilliant. So Alison, you mentioned the level system there. So if someone is interested in studying business and they're maybe thinking of the level 6 or the level 7 or the level 8, obviously they're all available to them here at AIT. But what is the difference between the level 6, the 7 and the level 8 for anyone watching?
Okay, so that's a really important thing for people to think about. I often consider that Leaving Cert students, as they're making their choices on CAO, are very much pressurised into thinking that the right choice is always to choose a level 7 or a level 8 degree programme. And for example, within our business offering, we have a higher certificate in level 6 programme, which is a 2-year programme. And that 2-year programme allows students to gain a grounding in the basics of business, and at the end of 2 years get a qualification. And for somebody who's uncertain whether they want to remain in education at that stage, they have their qualification and they can progress to the world of work. But the key thing about the ladder system, as we call it, that ladder system where you can progress from level 6 to level 7 and from level 7 to level 8, is it means that you choose your entry point, but you also choose how far you want to go thereafter. Because you choose a level 6 to start off with, doesn't in any way limit your options to progress. You have lots of options. And our higher certificate in business, the level 6 programme, is often overlooked as a really good starting point. As I say, it gives you a stop-off point at the end of 2 years. It also gives somebody who's a little bit uncertain as to whether they would prefer to do business or accounting, for example, the opportunity to do 2 years in business. And then if they so choose, we have a progression route into the accounting programme here in AIT, so they could progress to complete Bachelor of Arts in Accounting. So a level 6 gives you those choices. Starting at a level 6, you can progress on to 1 further year study to do a level 7, and 1 additional year study on top of that can give you a level 8, and you can progress to postgraduate studies and beyond from there. So some people know at this point they want a 4-year degree programme, and that's super, but for those who are less certain that they've chosen the right direction at this point, choose perhaps a level 6 or a level 7 programme and consider then what you want to add on top of that.
Brilliant. So I think that's a great piece of advice to know that if anyone is interested, for example, in studying business, that there's the option as well to jump into the accountancy as your level 7. It's a really good piece of advice for someone who might kind of like accountancy, but they want to see if business is maybe for them. There's also that progression route for them there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Alison, I know a lot of students watching right now who have maybe just obviously got their predicted grades, hopefully in August for their Leaving Cert. They might be a little bit nervous about how things are going to go in September. Do you mind giving them a little bit of an idea into what the teaching style is going to be like if they decide to study with us here at AIT in September?
Sure, absolutely, Claire. I suppose the first thing to say to all our Leaving Cert class of 2020 is they have had the most turbulent year of any Leaving Cert class within living memory. And they absolutely deserve something that gives them a little bit more security and a little bit more knowledge as to what's coming in the future. Nobody could have predicted the journey that they've come through. But what we very much hope is that if from September onwards. So the first thing we're doing is we're prioritising our first year intake this year. And what we're assuring them of is that we will not turn into a fully remote learning environment. So we will try and replicate as far as we possibly can the natural classroom environment that they have experienced up to now. So that means under current health regulations, we have some restrictions for social distancing, and it's really important that we maintain our health priorities. But we would hope, for example, for first years coming in, that they would get to be in a classroom situation face-to-face for at least 50% of the traditional hours that we would have delivered for that typical programme. So it means that they're getting the opportunity to connect with their peers, they're getting the opportunity to develop themselves into groups, and they're getting the opportunity to have face-to-face time with their lecturers. Yes, in the current situation, there will still be some remote assistance, so we'll have some online and remote delivery, which will help them, but key parts of the programme, we want to provide that in a face-to-face environment. So we want to give them that reassurance. And in fact, following on from that, we're really looking forward to welcoming them to AIT, and I know our Student Services Department is really working hard at the moment to come up with an induction programme that's really going to help them to settle in when they come here.
Yes, definitely. Alison, that was lovely to see. As a 6-year student that might be watching, that might be a little bit nervous if their first year will be a little bit different, but it's nice for them to know that they will have the opportunity to hopefully come in on campus for 50% of their learning, as you said. So, Alison, a lot of the times when we do these live Q&As, we get plenty of questions, but in your opinion, where are the jobs of the future in areas such as business, digital marketing, and business and law?
Okay, So I suppose if the last 3 months have taught us anything during a global pandemic, what we've learned is that the world of business can change really very, very quickly. And our general business programs offer that opportunity for people to have a grounding, which allows them to go into a whole range of different areas. Key areas that are coming to the forefront because of that are areas such as digital marketing, because those sort of platforms are providing businesses with the way forward, the way to connect with their customers, the way to manage their employees. So much has become digital in terms of its future. So digital is a really big growth area for anybody who's interested in that area. I suppose prior to our distraction with the global pandemic, we were all consumed with Brexit and all that might entail. And I suppose if we look back at the circumstances that that is going to mean for Ireland going forward, we see lots more regulatory jobs and lots of jobs around the law and things like that. So we see growth areas in those types of areas also. And of course, we would very much hope that coming out of I suppose what may turn into a recession in Ireland, we will see people setting up their own businesses. So there's always room for entrepreneurship, and business gives you the key skills to set up your own business. So those type of areas are hopefully going to be our growth areas going forward, and we will have all our traditional areas like our accounting and our human resource management, but they're key areas that I would see going forward.
Brilliant. And Alison, if someone watching, for example, just took your advice about the level 6s or the level 7s or the level 8 in business and maybe thought to themselves that they might struggle with maybe the accountancy side of things or economics, whatever it may be, what kind of support would be available to them if they did find themselves slightly struggling a little bit with a specific module?
Okay, so the first thing to say is when we start teaching in September to our first year cohort coming in, we don't expect or presume that they have any prior knowledge. So if you haven't completed a business subject for Leaving Cert, don't worry. We always start at the beginning because we have such a mixture of people in a class. We will always start at the beginning in terms of content. So we'll bring you from there forward. So if you're interested in coming into business and worried about doing accounting, please don't. We will start at the beginning and we will bring you through that program. Within the college then, we also have the benefit of a great system of tutor support. So we have one tutor who's dedicated to providing supports for the business students. And that gives that cohort of students the opportunity to get what's almost like one-to-one grinds or tutorials in areas related to the business content. And that's a really good support for people who come in. And we encourage people to connect with that early on if they're struggling in any way. It's a really that provides great supports to students who might want help with writing assignments, essays or projects. We have that type of support. And we have both student ambassadors and we have mentors who are students from the later years of the programme who will help students in the first years to connect and to understand the importance of being engaged with the programme that we're offering them as they go along. So we have plenty of supports to help our students settle in.
Brilliant. And Alison, work placement is a big part of AIT. So is there a lot of work placement involved within your department, within the courses?
Okay, we try as far as possible to provide either a work placement or a work-related project as you complete your studies in AIT. So for example, our 4-year business programme, our honours degree in business, provides a full semester of work placement in the second semester in year 3. And that means that students go out for a 20-week period into an appropriate environment and they get an opportunity to apply those skills that they've learned in a real-world environment. And that opportunity, students continually come back and say how really useful that has been. It's an opportunity to apply themselves and it's an opportunity to test out if their area of preference really is where they want to go after graduation. Many of them make contacts there that offer them further graduate employment. So we offer that type of placement within the 4-year degree programme for business. Within the other programmes then, in the digital marketing programmes, we very much concentrate on live projects. So in the early years, even in first year, we'll ask students to pick a company and base a project around that particular company. But by the time they come to 4th year, we'll be getting them involved in what we term a capstone project. So that's a live business-related project. So they look at the circumstances of the business and they start to put a strategy in place as to how to address some of the challenges and then they get involved with the business in actually implementing it. So it's a really super learning experience for students. So those type of things provide students with the real world experience that we think is critical.
Perfect. So Alison, we're going to answer a couple of students' questions that came in through our question box that we left on the Instagram page on our story yesterday. So the first one you have actually already answered in your little piece about placements there. Gillian asked, what sort of placement does a student complete in general business? So you already mentioned that it's a 22-week placement, but maybe if Gillian is wondering what kind of companies will general business students work with?
Okay, we have partnership with about 45 different companies at the moment on our placement database who have worked with us over recent years, and they provide really good opportunities. So for example, we've placed people in standard accounting practices where they've actually completed a finance role, a payroll role, or they've been involved in auditing, for example. We have put people into marketing roles where they've been involved in delivering a marketing campaign that the company is running with. We have had people placed in both HR environments and in computing environments where they've been involved in delivering and rolling out a new HR system within the company. We've had people involved in a company called State Street. Some students may be familiar with it. They're a big global financial organisation, and our students who went there got fabulous experience and got superb training while they were there. So they understood the financial markets in a first-hand way when they came back from their experience there. So the range of companies is very broad. We've had people involved in recruitment agencies where they were actually helping people with interview skills and helping people to make choices about what would be a suitable job for them. So a really broad range of companies we work with at the moment. Locally, we work with companies like DPD and Teleflex. We work with Matrix. We've worked with State Street. We work with credit unions, both Mullingar and Athlone. We work with RBK, who are well known in the accounting world. So there's a wide range of partners there that provide great opportunities for students.
Yeah, that's brilliant to hear about all the partnerships that you have, over 40 plus within the department. It gives a student who might be interested in studying business a great idea of where they can go and complete their placement over their degree here at AIT.
Yeah.
Perfect. And John asked, how many points will business and law be this year, do you think, Alison?
Okay, so based on last year, business and law came in at 301 points, for example. Now, it is a little bit of a challenge to predict points for this year. It's always a little bit of a challenge, but given predicted grades and the Leaving Cert, we're a little bit reticent to predict points, but we would still say use the guideline points from last year. We're saying in around 300-ish points is where we'd expect it to be, but I'm not prepared to commit any more than that just at the moment.
Yeah, that's perfect. And Claire actually asked, can you become a lawyer by studying business and law?
Okay, so the business and law program provides you with the basic study and the basic subjects that you need to complete your professional law exams. So the Law Society of Ireland offers the law exams which allow somebody to become qualified as a solicitor. And in order to do those, we give you the grounding in all of the areas. So the business and law degree leaves you in a good place to complete your FE1 exams, which is the Law Society exams that we speak of. So yes, it's a really good route. But you won't be a solicitor when you finish the degree programme, because that's not how the training for solicitor works in Ireland. You have to do a degree programme and then progress into your FE1 exam.
Yeah, perfect, Alison. And Grace actually asked, you touched base with this a little bit earlier, but she actually asked, what type of jobs can you get from studying digital marketing at AIT?
Okay, so from the digital marketing program, we've seen people going out and they become brand managers, they become digital marketing executives, they become involved in digital analytics, so things like search engine optimization and monitoring platforms in terms of social media. So there's a whole range of opportunities for digital marketing people. And of course, increasingly companies are looking to change their spend from traditional marketing to online spend. So 75% of company spend is probably in digital marketing space now, compared to what it was even a few years ago. So fabulous opportunities from the digital marketing program. Yeah.
Brilliant. And our last question was from Aaron. Now, I know you spoke a lot about this at the beginning, but he asked, what is the difference between a level 6 in business and a level 8 in business?
Okay. So the first thing is the level 6 and the level 8 in business are very similar, both in terms of the subject content for the first 2 years. So the first 2 years of the program are quite similar. And after that, obviously, the level 7, level 8 programs continue on to increase, and they have different learning outcomes for the 3rd year and the 4th year essentially. So I suppose for a first year coming in, the first 2 years, they won't notice a great difference between choosing a level 6 and a level 8 program initially, but in the later years of the program, they will see that the learning outcomes are different and their more advanced knowledge is required for 3rd years and 4th years. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant, Alison. So I think that was an excellent live Q&A about all the things business and management here at AIT. Obviously, if anyone has any further questions, we have no problem answering them if you want to send us a direct message on any of our social media platforms, and we can definitely put you in contact with Alison straight away. So thank you so much, Alison, for joining us. Have a lovely summer, and we look forward to being back in September.
Thanks, Claire.
And thank you, Alison. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.